Hello, my black and white brothers. Welcome to my channel. I'm Alpha Anime, and this is What If Deku Had Nine's Abilities. So guys, yeah, I told you I was gonna try and do a double upload today. I don't know if both of these videos are gonna go up today. I'm gonna try my best, but then it might not, so I'm sorry if it doesn't. I honestly don't know if these are going to be posted like at the same time or in the same day, but then just a few hours apart. But hopefully they are done in the same day, so I could live to what I said in my last video. So let's get into the what if. So guys, if you remember correctly, you would, if you, why can I not speak now? So yeah, I couldn't speak. I'm sorry. After that, if you remember what happened last time, they had just finished traveling around the world for a field trip. Cause I don't know, it's a quirk school. They must be loaded at least. So yeah, they found out that Izuku's dad is dead. He's very sad. He's just distraught because he's the reason that he can become a hero now. So, in his honor, he decides, I will become the number one hero and find the person who did this to my father. So yeah, years pass, and then he's still just as into All Might as before. Well, not he's a little bit less because he's not like afraid of not being able to become a hero. He still believes he fully believes that he can become a hero, but then he still loves All Might. So yeah. By the way, Deku is kind of swole now since he's now that we're in the main course of the MHA story. He's kind of swole. Like he got the muscle. He's about he's as swole as how he was when he first got One for All. So what happens is that during class, at the end of class, the teacher walks in and says, well, I guess you guys should fill out these forms since you guys want to, so you guys can know about what future high school you want to go to. Then he proceeds to use his quirk and literally burn the papers and says, but then who really cares at this point? I know you all want to go to the hero course. Everyone proceeds to use their quirks, even Deku. And then Bakugo says, don't put me and Deku in with these useless people. The best they can do is they can be fourth rate, what's it called? Sidekicks. Deku shoots shoots on bullet laser right next to Bakugo and says, yo, shut up, bro. What did I tell you to stop being so mean to everyone? Bakugo says, you don't control me, nerd. Deku says, oh, you wanna go? Deku gets up and gets his Hydra ready. Bakugo says, yeah, I wanna go. Let's go. They run at each other, but then they stop, and then they start laughing. It's like, I like how we both thought that I like how everyone thought that we were gonna fight. Everyone was looking at them, they were like, oh yeah, I forgot how good friends of these guys are. So yeah, these guys are really good friends. The teacher's like, don't do that again, because you already know that quirks aren't allowed in school. Bakugo is less rude now, so he's like, oh, okay. He goes to sit back down, but then Bakugo isn't as much as a douche as before because now he's friends with Deku. He's friends with an equal. He's not always above. He doesn't think that he's above everyone else. He still does think that he's stronger than Deku, but then he isn't like so strong about it. Okay, so they sit back down, and then after school, not Deku. What's his name? Bakugo says, "Hey, do you want to go train your quirk and get ready for the UA entrance exam?" Before I forget, they they in class the teacher says, "Oh, looks like we have two students going to applying for UA, Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya." Everyone starts whispering and like, "Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." So that's what happens. After school, Bakugo says, hey, do you want to go train with me for the entrance exam, Deku says, "Nah, Bakugo, I need to get home quickly, and plus I want to train alone for the next few weeks." Bakugo nods and says, "Okay, see you tomorrow, Izuku." And then he says, "See you later, Bakugo." What? Or Kachan. He thinks that he's gonna be late, so he takes a shortcut, and then he starts reprimanding himself. Why was I so stupid? Why did I use up all my slots for quirks and didn't even get a quirk so I can move faster or something? While he's calling himself stupid, he doesn't notice when he walks under a bridge. But he does hear, give me your body. Give me your body. You'll make an amazing meat shield." Deku hears this, and when he looks at himself, he sees a sludge villain coming after him. He then creates an air wall and shoots air out of it, stopping the sludge villain, sending him back. And then Deku says, yo, what's wrong with you? You do know that it's very, very rude to take someone's body without permission, right? I would have even given it to you if you had asked. The sludge villain said, "Wait, really?" Deku says, "No," and then he sends a Hydra at the sludge villain. It doesn't do much because here's a small fact: he's made of sludge. After seeing this, Deku is like, "I'm so dumb." He then starts shooting bullet lasers at the sludge villain, but All Might has been watching this the whole time, and then he says, "Whoa, such an amazing quirk," or should I say quirks. While Deku is fighting the sludge villain says, "Wow, you have such an assortment of quirks. What's going on?" He says, "What wouldn't you like to know?" Then he proceeds to use his air wall and keep the sludge villain at bay by shooting it with air. After this, he looks to the side. He slightly glances to the side. Then he looks back and is like, "Wait, All Might?" And then All Might then snaps back into reality, saying, "Oh I'm a hero. What am I doing?" He then walks up and short smashes on the air wall, causing what's it called? The sludge villains splatter everywhere. After this, Deku starts geeking out and asks for All Might's autograph. All Might promptly does this, and he's very, and Deku is elated. All Might is surprised by the power of this kid, and then he asks, young. Then Deku says, "Oh, my name is Izuku Midoriya." All Might then replies, "Oh, young Midoriya, may I ask what your quirk is? Or more like quirks?" Deku then replies like, "Oh, well, technically, I have only one quirk, and my true quirk is called Database. It allows me to copy and store quirks, but it's at the price of my physical well-being, so I have to train a lot so I can keep these quirks, or it might severely damage me. Also, I can only have 8 quirks, and I can also give quirks to other people." When All Might hears this, he says, "Wait, this is a lot like All for One's quirk. Could this maybe be like?" Then he throws this thought out of his head and asks, "Young Midoriya, do you wish to be a hero?" Or no, he doesn't say that. While All Might is thinking that this kid could become a villain because his father may be all for one. But to push this thought out of his mind, while All Might is thinking, Deku says, "What? I have a question, All Might." This snaps All Might out of his thought process and says, "Yes, what is it, young Midoriya? Like, can you become a hero even? Can I become a hero with the quirk I have?" All Might's eyes are widened and says, "What do you mean, can you become a hero? You could become number 1 easily." When Deku hears this, he he smiles uncontrollably and says, "Do you really think so, All Might?" All Might says, "Of course." But okay, so that's what happens. Then after that, Deku helps All Might put the sludge villain in the container. But then since All Might then jumps away, then since All Might stayed there a little more than he should have, he realized that he was about to turn back as soon as he jumped. And as soon as he jumped, he was like, "Oh no." So we started panicking a little bit. And then while that was happening, the sludge villain fell down. Yeah. So Deku was walking back home, still smiling. Then he hears a commotion. He walks over and he hears explosions. Like, oh no. He then sees Bakugo fighting for his life right now, while the heroes are doing nothing. Deku runs up to the heroes and says, "Hey, why aren't you guys doing anything?" He then hears them say, "Our quirks aren't suited for this." Then adapt. Then they say, "You're not a hero, so you wouldn't understand." Deku then proceeds to walk up to the villain, not run, no, walk up calmly. Then he says, "Put Bakugo down." When the sludge villain sees his face, he says, "Oh, it's 8 quirks." Wait, no, Deku can have 9. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll change that later. Deck when the sludge villain says, yeah, it says little 8 quirks. What, you want to join your friend? Deku says, I'll say it one more time. Put him down. The sludge villain then proceeds to try and blow Deku up, but then with unremarkable speed, he lifts up his hand, making an air wall, blocking it. He then looks up at the sludge villain, uses his telekinesis quirk to lift the villain up. Then he proceeds to make multiple air walls from each side. He then also gets his hydras out, and then he gets his bullet lasers ready and says, "Put him down." As soon as the sludge villain and everyone else sees this, the sludge villain calmly puts Bakugo down and surrenders. Deku then calms down and says, "Good." The hero after that, Deku is reprimanded. Says he's also then thanked. He's like, "Wow, you have such an amazing quirk. What is it called?" Deku says, I'll talk about it later. I'm very tired right now." So the news reporter, stuff like all of that happens. So All Might doesn't need to save Bakugo this time, but he does see what Deku does. But then he also says, "Well, I should still give this to Mirio." So Mirio is gonna get one for all in this one. So yeah. After this, All Might doesn't go to him and tell him that he wants him to be a successor because he realizes that this could be All for One's son, and even though he wants to be a hero, it's still dangerous. Deku then proceeds to train with Bakugo and himself for 10 months until the entrance exam comes. So by the way, Deku doesn't know that he can get one more quirk, but I'm saving that one for later. And before they know it, it's time for the entrance exam. Hopefully I didn't skip anything, because I paused my recordings, so that's why some parts are cut out sometimes, and I don't know. When they get to UA, they take in the scenery and they're like, "Wow, we're actually gonna apply for UA." As soon as this happens, when Bakugo says, "Well, I'll meet you inside." Deku is about to head inside, but then he trips, and he trips. He's like, "Well, this is gonna hurt." But then he doesn't hit the ground. A girl behind him says, "Sorry for using my quirk on you. I just thought it would be bad luck to fall down, to trip on our first day. On the first day for UA." Then he's like, "Oh, that would be bad luck." So, Deku smiles at her and says, "Oh, thanks." She says, "No problem." Then she walks inside, and then he walks inside saying, well, looks like it's time. So during the the written exam, a boy named Ida, a blue-haired boy stands up and is like, wait, there are 4 robots, not 3. I hope this isn't a mistake by UA. Then Deku says, shut up, he's about to get to that. Ida then says, don't talk to me like that. It's very rude. And he says, well, it's rude to halt everyone else's progress, you lousy piece of... Okay, I've gained my composure again. After Ida then sits down because he's a coward. I'm kidding. He then sits down. Then President Mike tells him about the 0-pointer, the 3-pointer, all that stuff. So yeah, Deku is still kind of smart. He's not as analytical as before, but then he is very smart. So he gets a solid 92 on the exam, the written exam. When they're about to... Now it's time for the practical exam. When they're about to get into the... what's it called? Yeah, they're about to enter the exam hall. As soon as that happens, he sees the girl that helped him. He wanted to walk over to her because she looked very nervous. But then Ida stopped him saying, he says, you shouldn't go and talk to that girl. You're gonna ruin her chances of getting into UA by distracting her. Deku then says, yo, shut up, please. What's wrong with you? Ida says, just don't do it, okay? Deku says, fine. And then President Mike says that we're about to start. Then he says, and go! Then Deku bolts in, running. He's nowhere as fast as Ida, but then he is fast. He bolts in, and then President Mike says, why are you guys standing here for? There's no countdown for real heroes. Everyone sighs for a second when they realize how dumb they are. Then everyone starts running in. By the time they've gotten in, they've seen Deku use only his Hydra Quirk for now. Using his Hydra Quirk, and then he gets a solid 20 points as soon as the exam starts in the first 10 minutes. He gets about 20, and then after that he's about to get hit by a robot. A robot snuck up on him. But as soon as that happened, he puts up an air wall and blows it it blows it to the next generation with that air compression blast or something. A lot of people see this and it's like, yo, what is this guy's quirk? Even the teachers, like Aizawa drops his coffee. He's like, what the actual heck? Yo, what's going on? The teachers look at each other and says, whoa, what is that kid's quirk? Nezu then says, oh, his quirk name is Database. It says that he can copy and store quirks forever. He can also give quirks. All the teachers are surprised and they say, is there a limit to the amount of quirks he can get? Then Nezu says yes, he can get a certain amount of quirks before he put on his arms blow off. And all the teachers like sweat drop. Everyone is like, oh shit. Well, good luck with that, bro. Back at the exam, Deku had then started showing all of his quirks now because he realizes that he wants to get first place. So now he's showing off all his quirks. He starts using his bullet laser, and then he starts shooting all the things, and then when he then hits 50 points, and then after that he gets to 70 points and a few hero points. He gets he's at 70 points with 50 robot points and 20 hero points because he does save other people as well. As soon as that happens, he starts to hear the ground rumbling, and then he looks up and sees the 0 pointer towering over them. He's about to start running, but then he hears a scream. He then sees Uraraka. He then sees the girl that saved him trip and fall. Then he then sees the he sees that she's stuck under a bunch of rubble. When he sees this, he's very he's taken over by pure instinct, and he starts running over there. Gets all of his quirks ready. He starts standing on his air wall. I don't think that's possible, but then you know what? I'm gonna say he can do it anyway. He gets on his air wall, and then he then proceeds to. When he's on it, he starts flying towards the 0 pointer. He then gets his Hydra and his bullet lasers ready. After that, he then removes his air wall and lands on the ground right next to the girl. The girl says, "Wait, what are you doing? I don't want you to risk your points to save me." He says, "Well, it would be bad luck. Well, you do have bad luck for tripping." He smiles at her. Then he proceeds to he uses his telekinesis at his strongest right now to pick up the 0 pointer. He then, right after that, he gets 3 Hydras out of his back and attacks the 0 pointer from all sides. The 0 pointer then tries to attack him, but then he uses an air wall to stop it. Then he right after that, he gets all of his quirks ready to use at the same time. Then he uses all of his quirks at the same time, blasting the 0 pointer into next year. Then he picks up the girl and says, "Are you hurt?" She voice crack. She then says, I just think I sprained my ankle or something." He says, "Oh, that's an easy fix." She looks at him and says, "What do you mean that's an easy fix?" He then uses cell activation while he picked her up and healed her leg with cell activation. He puts her down and says, "Can you walk now?" She says, "Yeah," and then she's like, "Wait, what kind of quirk do you have?" I'll explain it later." All the teachers are dumbfounded at this point. They realize, wow, this kid is probably stronger than all of us combined. Then after that, after the entrance exam, they head home. And then after 2 weeks, he gets the letter from UA saying that he got first place with 70 hero, no, with 30, no, God, with 70 hero. No, why can't I speak? Okay, he got 60 villain points and 30 hero points, and then with not 30, and 40 hero points with the 0 pointer and stuff. So overall, he got 100 points. I think I did that math right. He got 100 points. Then after that he gets into UA. Then the next day he gets ready and he starts walking to UA. And that's where I'm gonna leave it off, guys. Thanks for listening. So yeah, stay safe, stay cool, and wear a mask.